गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन। मेरा नाम अपर्णा है। मैं खेरवाड़ी सोशल वेलफेयर एसोसिएशन और हमारे फ्लैगशिप मूवमेंट युवा परिवर्तन को रिप्रेजेंट करती हूँ। और आज हमारा टॉपिक है जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ फॉर रूरल यूथ। ओके, ये सेंटेंस में ही एक पैराडॉक्स है, क्योंकि वी ऑल नो दैट देयर आर नो near known job opportunities in rural India. Okay, but I will take you through a real life example of how Yuva Parivartan has created jobs in rural India. Okay, and that's going to be my subject. As you know, Yuva Parivartan is predominantly set up in an urban area. So we are based out of Bandra East. Okay, and we started in an urban area, but as we went along, our founders, Mr. and Mrs. Kher, which we are today in our 28th year of Yuva Parivartan, while the NGO goes back to around 100 years. Okay, in another 4 years we complete a century, which is Kherwadi Social Welfare Association, which was set up by BG Kher, who was a social, freedom fighter, a social worker, and the first premier of the Bombay presidency. Okay, he set up the Kherwadi movement. So though the gist is, though we started very much in urban, we realized the need to move rural. Okay, and today whatever we do, it is 50% urban and 50% rural. That's where we want to be, and in the next 5 years or so, we want to take that 50% of rural to 80%, and that's our focus. So I won't really repeat the numbers, since morning, we are having a lot of, experts talking about numbers. But one, very key point that I want to, make here is that a majority of our, population stays in rural India, but still rural employment is seasonal, prone to insecurity, so on and so forth. And though agriculture employs nearly half of the workforce, it only contributes around 1/5 to the GDP. So here there is a real need for rural livelihoods to move beyond substances to more being resilient, diversification, as well as sustainable. That's the only limited point I want to make here. So when we started working in rural India, we thought skilling would really be the core objective, and we started our models with a lot of skilling initiatives. But we soon realized that it can't be just skilling, because rural needs a more integrated approach, because it already struggles with these kind of challenges. Sorry if I'm not talking in बरेचसे challenges आपल्याला आहेत. When we work in rural India, which is why we designed a model which in 2013 आपण हे model integrated rural development model introduce केलं. ज्याचं first the basis of the model is we work with marginalized farmers, women and youth who are dependent on agriculture. And across 5 pillars, which is agriculture, water, sanitation, animal husbandry, women empowerment, and skill development, which is farm and non-farm. Okay, so the way our approach works here is, any development that we do in a village, so whatever is the need of the village, त्या विलेजची काही पण जी गरज असेल, whether त्यांना पाण्याची गरज असेल की टॉयलेट बांधण्याची गरज असेल, we use that as an entry point to enter that village. Once we enter it, we take the community buy-in. Okay, community buy-in झालं की then we design what are the opportunities there, and I will demonstrate a live example of how we have done that step by step. The community takes the ownership, and then we kind of drive them towards rural livelihoods. Okay, that's the approach. आता ना मी तुम्हाला एक गोष्ट सांगणार आहे about गडचिरोली. Okay, I hope it is interesting. So whatever the principles ज्या मॉडेल्समध्ये मी बोलले, त्याचं हे एक उदाहरण आहे. सो 2016 मध्ये आम्ही गडचिरोलीमध्ये एंटर केलं विथ फॉर अन SRI इंटरवेन्शन. ओके, strengthening farm livelihoods, which showed a 40% yield. Okay, that was in 2016. Then we leveraged public schemes. Okay, so we had a we had an agreement with the government and a corporate donor to kind of have 12 blocks of Gadchiroli declare as open defecation free. Okay, we had subsidies around 10 crores. So this is the development part of it. Okay, so we did that. Okay, 5,500 household toilets were constructed. Okay, but Yuva Parivardan went one step ahead. आम्ही तेव्हा काय केलं की जे masons होते, we had around 2.2 crores of funds. So we trained 900 masons. So this is where we created those opportunities, the livelihood opportunities for the masons to work and get around 2.2 crores. So 900 masons needs also 2.2 crore money त्यांच्या accounts मध्ये गेले. So this is how is an example of how we leveraged our public schemes to generate livelihoods. Okay, then whatever this is exactly what I spoke of. Then the second stage was we wanted to move to ODF. That's what ODF plus, or creating awareness. So we did a lot of waste segregation, rack pickers. Now, आम्ही शिकवलं की कसं waste segregation करायचं, how the incomes doubled, so on and so forth. So in that same ODF plus, we created another, stages of livelihoods. The next is when the third stage of the program was when ODF plus plus. We realized ki tevha, because in Gadchiroli, piggery is something that is well accepted in the culture. So we realized there was a lot of food waste, a lot of जेवणाचा waste generate होत होतं, green waste generate होत होतं. So tevha we decided that why not make it linked to livelihoods. So then we started the piggery programs. It started with 20 pigs. We gave 4 groups of farmers 20 pigs, okay, which now has come up to 435 farmers, and they every year earn around 3.5 lakhs. Okay, so each farmer earns around 70 to 75,000 each year. So that is another example how through development we have created a livelihood income. Again, the green waste, we started doing vermicomposting. A woman or any women household, they earn around 4,000 rupees per crop, per cultivation for the farm productivity through vermicomposting. Then there was a very interesting story in Gadchiroli. एक गोंड नावाचा tribe आहे जे त्यांच्या women ना outcast करतात when they menstruate. Okay, so that was a problem in hand. So what do we do it? These women were outcast out of the village. त्यांना गावाबाहेर ती लोक काढायची ज्याच्यात एक असं तुटलेलं घर असायचं, साप यायचे तिथे, वाईल्ड प्राणी यायचे आणि बायका मरायच्या, either by through snakes bite or through excessive bleeding. Okay, so what we did, this waste segregation जे आपण bottles प्लास्टिकच्या आपण ह्या केलेल्या त्याच्यात sand भरून we created a safe house. Okay, so this is how the safe house used to look earlier. This is how by a bottle construction, bottle मध्ये ज्या 1 लिटरच्या बिस्लरीच्या bottles असतात, plastic bottles, त्याच्यात sand भरून we created this house. त्याच्यात त्या बायका 5 दिवस राहून they are trained on tailoring. Okay, they are trained on vermicomposting, they are trained on 1 guntha nursery, and that is the kind of incomes they are making. Okay, real life stories. So we have 2 sanitary bag and making units which approximately earn about 2,50,000 to 5 lakh per year. Okay, so this is how the rural livelihoods work. They don't work as a standalone unit, but they work when you integrate different sources to help them generate livelihoods.
ज्या घरा शेजारी जमीन असलेल्या ह्या जमिनीमध्ये मी
I'll not show that video. So here is we continue from 2023, we are continuing to do these small interventions. So whatever is the need of that particular area, we turn it into a livelihood opportunity, and we upskill masons, giving a second crop to the farmers. They earn us an income of 35 to 40k. So that is how we are creating sustainable and reliant livelihoods. Okay, so this is an example of Gadchiroli. And for replication strategies, what we think is we are adopting, or we would want to adopt, a village saturation approach for a sustainable livelihood. The second is multi-skilling. Okay, so we have realized when we train masons, they are only able to do the masonry work. So we are trying to do a lot of masonry, plumbing, and making them a multi-skilling this so that they can take up any work that is available for them. And also the integrated farming model. Our ask is for the state missions to act as, you know, anchors for us. So they don't need to do everything, but the convergence is more important. And CSR and private, you know, sector to give us the funding, be patient, give us patient funding. And that's where, you know, that's where I come to an end without taking much time. Thank you.